This is a quick video to show you how to create an exploded view using two different types of tools. One called Displace Elements and the other one by sectioning out a whole piece of your model in different levels. So we'll start with the displace views. First thing you want to do is right click and duplicate the view. If you duplicate just regular duplicate, you won't get all of the annotation, but if you duplicate with detailing, you will. So I'll go ahead and just duplicate it. And then here you can select, for instance, this wall, and then up in the modified ribbon, you'll see a small icon under the view panel. It's called Displace Elements. Go ahead and click on that. You'll get the UCS icon, these blue, red, and green arrows. If I want to pull this wall out towards the green or Y direction, I can come out this way. It kind of displaces that element. And then in the ribbon, I can click on Path and go close to this corner so that I can click and kind of represent here by clicking where this wall is being displaced from. If I escape out of that and click on the wall, you can see that if I use the blue or red arrows, that displacement is still linked to that wall. And you have other tools here, like you can edit that displacement. If you click on edit here, once you select the wall, you can add more to it. So I can add this this wall to it. If I add this wall to it, you see how this wall becomes a part of the displacement. Or I can remove, if I want to remove this window, for instance, it'll go back. If I want to add it again, I can click on it and add it and then finish that. So you can add or remove to your displacement. So here I'll click on the roof and I'll click on Displace Elements, and I'll hold my left mouse button down on the blue arrow, drag my mouse up. You see, you don't have to use the path, the displacement set path, but the path kind of gives an idea of where that element is coming from. The roof doesn't align it completely, but it gives, like I said, an idea of where it's aligning. So you go ahead and decide on some of your elements that you'd like to displace, maybe some of your walls and part of your roof. Set up your path, and it just makes for a very nice way of showing graphically how your drawing can be kind of exploded, so you can kind of see the inside of it. I might want to, in this file, displace this front wall so that I could see inside to the front entrance there, and then create the path here to show how that wall's been displaced. Another way of exploding a view is to go to one of your elevations. Let's duplicate that elevation by resting your pointer on it, right click, pick duplicate and view and duplicate. And then in this view, I'm going to use callouts to establish different levels that I'd like to create as my exploded view. So in the View tab, I'm going to click on Callout, and I might want to create here a callout for each one of these levels. And once I do that, I'm kind of determining how much of that floor I want to explode, in other words. And now I can go over to the 3D view and create 3 duplicates so that we can create three different exploded levels. So we'll go up to duplicate and view, duplicate, and do that 3 different times. And actually I need to rename that first view. I'll rename that first view that we created displaced elements as part of my exploded views. And then the other 3 are going to be exploded views. So I'm going to rename this one exploded exploded view 1. I can rename this one exploded view 2. And that last one there, exploded view 3. So as you're creating those callouts, you notice that in the elevations now I have 3 different callout views, and in the 3D views I created 3 new duplicates of the 3D view, and I renamed them exploded view 1, 2, and 3. Eventually these 3 views will be brought onto a sheet to show the different levels of the building. So here I'm going to go to exploded view 1, and then if you rest your pointer on the view cube up at the top there, right click, you can go to orient to view and then elevations and go to callout 1. And what it does is it kind of turns to the 3D view for that callout. And now if I use my shift key and the wheel of my mouse, I can orbit and see that what I really did was I created a section or an exploded view of that using the callout. And if I go right to the southeast isometric view by clicking on this corner, or it's actually the northwest view in this one, I can use these little arrows on the section box to show as much of this as I'd like to show. So maybe I'd like to show a little bit more of the floor. And then I'll go to the exploded view 2 and do the same thing. I'll come up to this view cube, right click, go to orient to view, elevations, and go to callout 2. So callout 2 is kind of that next section, and here I can orbit to see it like this. I can go here to the northwest elevation if I want to keep everything in the same view, and use these arrows again to decide on how much you want to see of that section. And then the exploded view 3, same thing, rest your pointer on the view cube, right click, go to orient to view, elevations, and then the callout 3, which will give you that last callout that you created. I'm going to click here in the view cube right at the corner of this cube for that northwest elevation, and then deciding on how much of this view is going to show. Maybe I only want the top part of it because the other parts are open. So now I can go over to one of my sheets. If you highlight sheet and pick new sheet, right click and pick new sheet, you can create a new sheet if you like. You probably already have your sheets established. I can drag over to my sheet, the exploded view 1, right here, and then I will pull that down a little bit more and bring on here to the sheet exploded view 2. You see I can use these little blue lines, dash lines, to kind of line it up a little bit. I can kind of pull it away from there if I like, and then exploded view 3 for that last view, lining it up with the drawing. I may want to turn off the topography and just use the building itself, or whatever configuration you'd like to use. What I do want to do here is I want to double click to go inside this view and turn off the section box by typing in VG. Typing in VG, I can go to the annotation category and take the check mark out of section boxes, pick apply, and so then that section box is off. You can double click or double click in space, or right click and deactivate the view to get back out of it. So I'll do that for each one of these so that I can take off that display of the section box. If you lose your properties palette, you can type in PP and it'll come back here. I turned it off earlier. But once you have a view highlighted here on your sheet, you can go to edit type, and where it says show title, you can change that from yes to no. And you see, if you do that, you can turn off the title. Okay, so I went back into the views and I turned off the display of the category for the topography, and then I turned the section box back on so that I could use those little blue arrows to get the floor to go down a little bit more so I can see inside the basement here. And now I think it's become kind of a nice exploded view based on the different levels. So whether you use displaced views for your portfolios, later in life, or exploded views for this assignment, you will experience and go ahead and create both of those. You can put them in their own sheet or put them both in one sheet if you'd like. Call one displaced views and the other one exploded views if you'd like. And you may even decide to go inside the view and change the scale to something smaller or larger depending on what fits for your project. Both the exploded views and the displaced elements make for nice graphic representations of your project. And in the next video, you'll take a look at how to create a section perspective. Have fun and contact me if you need any help.